Nasty light. Nobody's on today. Okay. Hi, Mary. Hi, Little J. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. That light is killing me over there. Hi, Graham. Welcome. Trying to get this. We're in a new location today. Hi, Little J. How are you? Thank you. Thank you, thank you. New location today. Trying this. Let's see if this light helps. Oh, that kind of helps a little. Good. And can I get a fallback, please? Yes, I will do that after my broadcast. All right, guys. So I wanted to get into the whole vibe of food by doing this in the kitchen, but I don't know how well that's going to work. I have this thing mounted on a cabinet, and who knows how well that's going to go. And I didn't prepare for today either, so I'm not sure how this is going to go. So bear with me, you guys. This is a big one, but it's also, it's so big that I don't really even know how to prep for it. So for those of you that don't know, my name is Marisol. I have late-stage Lyme disease. I've had Lyme disease for about a decade now, but the worst symptoms have been in the last 5 years or so. I have severe neurological involvement, and I'm basically homebound for the most part. And I've been doing a scope a day for the month of May. May is Lyme Awareness Month, and so I've been talking about my own personal journey every day this month. So I have a different topic every day, and every Sunday I talk about one of my symptoms. And this Sunday I'm talking about my food sensitivities, which a lot of people have curiosity over that as well. Much like my light sensitivity, my food sensitivities are pretty severe, and they basically dictate how I do things in my daily life. So this one's pretty huge. Oh my God, the dog's gonna start barking now. And so I thought I'd do it in the kitchen. I don't get very good Wi-Fi in the kitchen, so if this starts breaking up, just let me know and I'll start over again. So my food sensitivities, hi Jeff, welcome. My food sensitivities I think started a long time ago, but they got really bad about five years ago. I'm guessing somewhere around that time. It's kind of hard to tell you guys what I'm sensitive to. It's a lot easier to tell you what I'm not sensitive to. So I'll give you the short list of foods that I can eat. Lyme disease is a bacterial infection spread by a tick bite. So a tick is those little things that sometimes you find on dogs or deer and other kinds of wild animals like mice and rats. And if it bites you, some of them have a bacteria called Borrelia burgdorferi, and that bacteria gets into your bloodstream, and if it's not treated within the first 30 days, it becomes a really big problem. Yes, exactly. Yes, Jeff. So I did not even know that I had gotten bitten, and 7 years later, I find out that I have Lyme disease, and I get treated for it, and the treatment doesn't go very well. So unfortunately, I'm still sick. My food sensitivities I consider to be probably the most damaging symptom that I have. I have severe light sensitivity. That's the most disabling symptom, but as far as a symptom that can actually probably kill me, I would say my food sensitivities are probably the one. My food sensitivities are off the charts. There are very few things that I can eat. So I'm going to start off by showing you guys a short list of things that I can eat. That's taped. There's a menu on the inside of the pantry, but it's taped to the pantry. So I'll basically just tell you what I can eat. I'll just read a list. So vegetables, I can eat green beans, peas, zucchini, cucumbers, asparagus, cauliflower, cabbage, a few different types of squash, acorn, butternut, spaghetti squash, lettuce, mushrooms, red peppers, and, carrots, broccoli. I can eat stuff like that. Once you get to, spinach. Hi, Shane. Welcome. Once you get to stuff like spinach, I can eat chicken. Yes, I can eat chicken, beef, and wild Alaskan salmon in moderation. But I can have chicken and beef. Fruits, I have to limit my fruit intake. Usually I'll have apples, like maybe on the weekends, not Popeyes or KFC, because remember that's fried and it might be breaded as well. I cannot have any wheat. I have maybe an apple or two on the weekend. I try to stay away from grapes, anything that's very, very high in sugar. I'm supposed to stay away from all sugar, basically, so I don't really have much fruit. I have to stick to a low amylose diet, which means low in sugar, so I can't have any refined sugar or anything with sugar in it. Hi, Rin. If you eat more than a moderate amount of safe foods. I'm supposed to switch off. So if I have beef one week, the next week I have to have chicken. You can't keep eating the same thing over and over again. According to my last doctor, she says that if you eat the same thing over and over again, you keep exposing yourself to it and you become intolerant to it. But that's because I have a genetic thing. That's, what she told me. Because I'm so limited with the foods that I can eat, I tend to eat the same thing over and over again. I basically just switch my meat. I do beef, chicken, sometimes salmon. But that's, yeah. I have watermelon. I had a little bit of watermelon yesterday. So I have fruit in moderation in, very small, limited quantities. I can have an orange every now and then, but I have to stay away from those. So low amylose means low in sugar. That means low refined sugar. Oh, this watermelon right here? Yeah. Low refined sugar. There's like bills and stuff here that should be covered. I did not realize that. I'll flip that around. And so I can't have a lot of sugar. I can't have any refined sugar, no brown sugar, no agave nectar, no maple syrup, none of that. And there's people that, they say, oh, maple syrup is so great for you. Honey is so great for you. I can't have any of that stuff. No allergens, no soy, no wheat, gluten, no nuts. Well, nuts and seeds are a different thing. What else is an allergen? I have a question, but it might be dumb. Go ahead and ask. I'll answer whatever kinds of dumb questions you have. What other allergens are there? Anything that can be a possible allergen, I have to stay away from. I eat eggs, though. I do eat organic eggs. Can you have sex? That's a good question, and I get that question a lot. I might do a separate scope about that, so you might want to stay tuned. So I might dedicate an entire scope to sex, Lyme disease, and disability. So stick around. I'm still considering whether I'm going to do it or not, but a lot of people are curious about that, so I feel like that is something that might be addressed. It depends. I only have about 1 week left of Lyme Awareness Month, so no soy, no dairy, no gluten. I do eat eggs, organic eggs in moderation. All of my food is supposed to be organic. I'm 31 years old. So all of my food is supposed to be organic. I do the best I can. I stick to organic meat. Like I said, my fish is usually wild Alaskan salmon. That's the one that my doctor permitted. Hi, SYO. My fruits and vegetables, sometimes organic, sometimes not. It's really expensive to eat all organic. So I do my best, but, it's really expensive and it can be, a real problem. What else? I have to stick to a low oxalate diet. This is where it gets complicated. Eliminating sugar, eliminating dairy, I can't have any milk or cheese or anything like that. That kind of stuff is pretty easy, and I had already been doing that for several years because I had become intolerant to those things. Low oxalate is a lot harder, and if you don't know what that is, I recommend you look it up online because it's really tough to explain. I'll explain it the best that I can, but it is kind of it's complicated once you start grouping it together. I'm not supposed to have any fast food. Every now and then, if I can find something that I can tolerate at a fast food place, I will eat it, in an emergency. If I'm out and about and I'm getting really hungry, I could pick up a salad from McDonald's. I can eat fries. I mean, they're not good for me. They're going to cause some symptoms. But in an emergency, I will eat fries. Low oxalate diet. Basically, what oxalates are is they are compounds that are in plant-based foods. So, beans, nuts and seeds, spinach. Yes, my family knows that my family has to do my grocery shopping for me, so they have to know. I cannot do my own grocery shopping because of my light sensitivity. If you want more information about my light sensitivity, I have other scopes up that describe my light sensitivity in depth. So yes, my family knows. They have to know about all of my food sensitivities, and they because they do my shopping. If they get food that I can't eat, then I don't eat, basically. If I run out of food and they're not around, then I don't eat, basically. I stay in most of the time. I can drive and I can go outside, but I cannot go into any place that has fluorescent or LED lighting. So basically that's every supermarket in the United States. So low oxalate foods, the vegetables that I read to you in that list, green beans, peas, zucchini, cucumbers, asparagus, cauliflower, cabbage, certain squashes, lettuce, those are all low oxalate foods. They contain a very small amount of that compound, which is called oxalates. High oxalate foods would be beans, nuts, spinach, artichokes. I'm trying to think. Broccoli can sometimes have high oxalates, but I can tolerate it more or less. Carrot is, middle of the road oxalates. A lot of your root vegetables, potatoes, turnips, I think. Does that mean you can't go to an EDM or regular concert? Probably not, because if they have a lot of those weird flashing lights, then yeah, I probably can't go. I've gone to bars that have weird lights in them, and I can go in there for maybe an hour or two, but I try to avoid it as much as I can. And I'm 31. I have no business at an EDM concert anyways, so I mean, I'm kind of old for that stuff, but every now and then, it's fun to go out. So I have to stick to those foods, and it is fun. Yeah, it is very fun. Certain vegetables certain fruits are also high in oxalates. Exactly. To be 31 again. I am 31, but EDM is probably more for 21. Certain fruits also have high oxalates. The ones that are low in oxalates are apples, apricots, plums, raisins. Avocados are a fruit. They're low in oxalates. Mango, pineapple, peaches, pear, grapes, lemon, watermelon. Low in oxalates, high in sugar. So we have a problem. EDM is electronic dance music. It's really big right now. It's kind of like what raves were back when I was 21 or in high school. It's like raves, I guess. It just has a different name now. So those are fruits that are low in oxalates, but remember, I have issues with sugar as well as oxalates, so I have to stay away from both. So that eliminates a lot of stuff. So my diet is very, very limited. And of course, this can lead to, malnutrition, weight loss. I'm very thin, as you guys can see. And it causes a lot of issues. So that's where I'm at with the food sensitivities. It's difficult to go out to a restaurant. On top of the fact that I have to find a restaurant that has outdoor seating, I also have to find a restaurant that serves maybe salads or meat or something like that. my diet is mostly paleo. So let me give you an example of this kind of stuff that I can eat. Oh, and by the way, this is my spice. We created this spice. I cannot have any pre-made spices because they usually contain cornstarch, which I'm very sensitive to. So I have to mix my own spices and put that on my food, because if I eat, can I eat Applebee's? If they have a salad, I could probably have Applebee's. And so, Jeff, how do I know you? I feel like I found you somewhere, or I found you through someone. So, this is basically what I can drink, what I can eat. Silk coconut milk and water. That's about it. Silk coconut milk and water. I'm not supposed to have juice. Juice is high in sugar. Steak. I can have steak. I love steak. So I can eat steak. You've seen my scopes before. But I feel like I found you through someone. I feel like you're a friend of a friend of a friend. What else? I can have avocado. There's a sliced avocado in here. Can you guys see me? Yeah. Sliced avocado in here. Green beans. I can have green beans. I have some green beans in here. What else? What else? I can have corn tortillas. I can have corn tortillas, tortilla chips, tostadas in moderation. In moderation. If you have too much, remember, corn just breaks down into sugar. If I have too much, then I start having issues. Sometimes I start breaking out. I get acne from sugar and fruit. So I have to be really careful with that. I also get fatigue. So, I don't like feeling like that. So that's why I stay away from those foods. I don't stay away from them because I want to stay skinny or, whatever, for whatever weird reason. I do actually have symptoms if I eat these foods that I'm not supposed to be having. What else? I can't have any bread. Sometimes I'll get cravings, and I'll just eat spoonfuls of peanut butter, which I'm not supposed to have. Especially this, because this has sugar, it has peanuts. This is, bad for you anyways. But if I get cravings, I will eat that by the spoonful. Avocados, I have a lot of avocado because they have good fats. I have never been to Jersey. I have never been any farther than Utah. We went camping in Utah once, and that's about as far as I've gone. What else? Yeah, my food sensitivities are off the charts. I don't know anybody else with Lyme that has this level of food sensitivity. You're from Jersey, okay. I'm from Los Angeles, California. Don't know where I got Lyme disease. They say it's more common on the East Coast, but I know plenty of people out here that have it. So yeah, that's, kind of a thing. If I stray from my diet, I tend to have a lot of issues. Like I said, fatigue, skin problems, acne, eczema, bleeding. I will bleed. I'm not going to tell you from where. I don't go out of the country anymore, no. The last time I went out of the country, I was 14 years old. So I don't go out of the country, and I'm too scared to go out of the country, especially in my condition. If I eat too many high oxalate foods, there will be bleeding. It's not fun. If I have any allergens, like soy, for example, I will have joint pain, back pain, fatigue. If I have wheat, I'll get a headache. Okay, Jeff, I'll see you in a bit. I will eat these things. Like a couple weeks ago, I was eating brownies. My sister made these brownies, and I was just eating them. I would just, because sometimes you get tired of holding yourself back. And I started having bleeding issues, headache, nausea. Nausea is another big one. If I stray from my diet too much, then I'll start getting very persistent nausea, stomach upset, acid reflux. Sometimes you start burping up what you ate. I start getting just, all my neurological symptoms go through the roof. My joint pain, I usually don't have joint pain day to day, but if I have something that strays from my diet, I will have joint pain. As a matter of fact, let me take you on a little trip around the house and I'll show you something that I had this weekend. And I woke up feeling like I had gotten run over by something. So here's a bar. As I've told you guys before, this is a party house. This is a full bar. It's a giant Corona piñata right there. So here's your full bar. Got your wine. Remember, wine contains sulfites, and so do packaged foods like packaged meats and hot dogs. They contain sulfites, and you're not supposed to have sulfites. So here we have some wine and Bud Light. I had some of this. I had some Malibu. I hadn't had Malibu rum in probably since my junior year in college, so that's a good 11 years ago. I had some Malibu rum with orange juice and coconut milk, and I woke up the next day feeling like I had gotten run over by a semi. So I woke up, so I had that Friday night. I woke up on Saturday morning with all over joint pain. So joint pain in my arms, shoulders, knees, my lower back, just all around feeling horrible. So I try not to drink at all. I'm not supposed to drink at all. My stomach doesn't tolerate the alcohol very well anyways, but the hangover is worse than usual. Sometimes I'll get nausea, but the joint pain and all of that, it lingers. So I really have to stay away from that kind of stuff. What else? I'm trying to think of what else. I can do Epo wine, organic, and I'm super sensitive to. I'll look that up. I actually started drinking Reds, which is, it's hard cider, and Reds go down pretty easy, just that they're carbonated, but they seem to not give me too much of a problem. But alcohol is very inflammatory, so it's not good to drink it anyways if you have a inflammatory disease like Lyme disease. But every now and then sometimes you got to have a drink, and so I discovered Reds. Somebody left some at my house, and I started drinking them, and I was like, oh, they're not too bad. But as far as wine goes, doesn't go down too easy. That Malibu rum back there did not sit well with me at all. It's so sweet too. It's excessively sweet. I think the sugar was the actual problem, not the actual alcohol in it. And I woke up the next morning and I just had all over joint pain. It was just terrible. And of course, when that happens, then I have to take Advil. Advil sometimes helps. So I take Advil, and that calms down the joint pain. But then Advil gives you, your other typical issues like stomach upset, and it can be tough on your digestive system as well. So Advil is something that I try not to take too much, only when I really have to. The food sensitivities, or my sensitivities, are not just limited to food. My sensitivities also cross over to supplements. I take very few supplements. I'll be talking about my supplements in another scope. I used to take a bunch of supplements, and little by little, I started becoming sensitive to all of those as well. So I had to stop taking those. I'm sensitive to just about every kind of drug, pharmaceutical medication. I can take Advil and Benadryl, and that's probably about it. But yeah, I'm intolerant to just about everything, and I think that's just, a very dangerous thing because I'm malnourished. I'm not getting, all the nutrients that I need to get, and on top of that, it sucks not to be able to eat anything. So right now, I actually started a blog recently. I'm going to be looking for restaurants and different outdoor types of places, restaurants with outdoor seating and stuff like that. So I started a blog for that, and I started looking at the menus of all of these places to see if I could actually go there and eat. And I mean, most of the food I can't eat. Thank you so much, Mary. I hope that I improve too. I mean, I still haven't lost complete hope, but at the same time, I have to learn to sort of make a life, the way that I am. So I started that blog. There's a link in my profile to that blog, and I'm looking for all these restaurants with outdoor seating, and hopefully restaurants that also have foods that I can eat. So that's going to be my next big project for this summer, and it sort of gives me something to do besides just dwelling on the fact that I can't do stuff. Because I think I get so focused on the fact that I can't, because I can't eat so many things, I can't do so many things. I get so focused on the fact that I can't that I forget about the stuff that I can do and the stuff that I can eat. And I think I need to bring the focus back to that. And, I think having that blog is going to sort of open up the doors to that. I'm going to discover places that I can go to and places that I can eat at. And I think that's really important. We need to start remembering, the things that we can do. Actually, I did a scope yesterday about gratitude, and it was a really quick one because I was really busy yesterday, and I'm actually, busy today too. I have some stuff to do. But reading the list of things that I can still do and the things that I'm grateful for, I started reading it and I thought, wow, I can still do a lot of things. There's people out there, sometimes I look at other people with disabilities, people that are in wheelchairs or people that have other, conditions. And I think to myself, wow, I'm still pretty lucky that I can get out of bed. And I'm still lucky that I can actually go to a restaurant and sit at a restaurant, as long as they have outdoor seating. So it's almost sort of like you kind of have to look at the things that you can still do and the things you can still enjoy, as opposed to saying, oh, well, I can't do this and I can't do that. I'm fortunate that I can still drive, but my own fear is what holds me back from actually driving and going places. Yesterday I drove to LA, and I thought to myself, I can do this drive. Why don't I drive out to LA more often, and enjoy whatever there is in LA? I think a lot of it is just my own fear. And that's just what it is. It's our own fear that holds us back. It's not necessarily our disability or, how bad we feel. It's just our own fear. So that's my scope for today. It wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. I was actually going to take my scope out into the real world and go to a restaurant, but I have a family party to go to later on, and it's going to be a lot. You're crazy, moody, and it holds you back. I think Lyme has something to do with it. Yes, Lyme disease can cause mood dysregulation, and we talked about that in my scope of all the psychiatric symptoms of Lyme. And we talked about Allie Hilfiger, who was institutionalized. I really want to get her book. I really, really want to get her book. And read that. But yes, Lyme disease can cause mood dysregulation. You're happy one minute, you're sad the next, you're hysterical. I mean, I've had my bouts of hysteria where I'm just, losing it completely. And yeah, it can definitely cause that. I feel like my diet helps with that. Here's an interesting thing, actually. Yeah, let's do a book club. I gotta get that book. I mean, it looks really, really good. I actually just saw it, in another one of my magazines, that, she's coming out in magazines. I hope she does an interview in a magazine soon too. But here's another thing that I recently discovered. A couple weeks ago, like I said, I discovered that I could drink reds, and I was drinking, and I had a couple of reds, and I had a glass of wine. I can force myself to drink wine when I really want to. It doesn't feel great, but I can do it. One thing that I noticed, though, is that because I'm so sensitive to food, and I'm so sensitive to all of these, I can eat, a piece of dark chocolate right now, and I won't sleep all night tonight. I'm just so hypersensitive. So I woke up I barely woke up. I barely slept at all alcohol just kills your sleep, but it, for me, it totally, I get maybe like 1 solid hour of sleep. And I woke up the next morning panicky, my heart racing, and then when I started coming off of the alcohol, coming down from it, I started feeling really depressed, like really, really severely depressed. That's something that I had never really experienced before. The joint pain I had experienced years ago when I still was able to drink more, but I would always wake up the next morning with joint pain all over. But the mood issue I had never really paid attention to. And I mean, it was very, very distinct. The other day, a couple days ago when I had Malibu rum, I woke up with joint pain, but I also woke up with my heart pounding, that panicky feeling, and then coming off of it, I start getting that depression. So I think it could be food related. It could be environmental toxins. I'm also very sensitive to chemicals, different types of smells. Anything on my hands, I have to use special detergent. I have to use special hair care products. I'll be talking about that this week also. I'll be talking about like the makeup that I use, the hair stuff that I use, because I'm sensitive to everything. Everything makes me break out, gives me eczema, gives me some kind of a reaction. So there could be something in your environment that is triggering, the mood issues, or something that you're eating that's triggering the mood issues. So you have to be really, really careful with that. When my doctor put me on this diet, I think of all the things that she did, that's the thing that helped me the most that she did, was putting me on this diet. She eliminated all sugars, every allergen. She told me that I could still eat nuts, but because I have the oxalate issue, I had to stop eating nuts and seeds and things like that. And that really helped with a lot of, particularly the nausea and sort of the depression and all of that. It really helped to reduce that. But it doesn't eliminate it completely. If you still have Lyme disease, you're still going to have the mood issues and all of that. But the diet really, really brought down a lot of those really severe symptoms. I mean, I was nauseous 24/7. I could barely go out to the mailbox to get my mail because I was just so nauseated all the time. And that in and of itself will also make you depressed. But yeah, with alcohol and stuff like that, I noticed that it's an instant, coming down off of it. It's almost like a withdrawal. And I'll start getting, panicked and then depressed. And I just don't react well to that stuff anymore. And that's why I avoid it. I don't avoid it because I don't avoid it because the doctor put me on this diet. I avoid it because it makes me feel sick. And a lot of people sort of misconstrue that. They think that I'm avoiding foods just because somebody told me to do it. And I'm not avoiding it because I was told to avoid it. I'm avoiding it because it really does make me feel very sick. My parents have a hard time believing this. Hello. Hi, Crystal. My family has a hard time believing this. Hi, Rit. Because, they enjoy food and they eat everything, and, food is such a big part of their life. But they can't understand that it can actually make somebody feel sick, so they don't really believe it completely. Thank you for the hearts. So when they see that I'm avoiding all these foods, to them it's just like, oh, it's just because you don't want to eat it, but you can, you just don't want to. Your doctor told you not to, and that's why you're not eating it. And it's like, no, if I eat it, I do feel very sick. Exactly. Yeah, I wish that they could have. I mean, I don't wish this disease on them at all. But at least for them to, if they eliminated certain foods from their diet, they probably would feel better because they do have their own health issues. Hi, Jeff. You missed the bar, actually. I took you guys to the bar and showed you the party bar. You can watch it on the replay. But I don't wish this disease on them, but I do think that they have their own issues. My sister just recently eliminated coffee from her diet because she was getting really anxious and she's been having a lot of stomach problems, and she says she feels better, but she misses coffee. But she feels, better. We have a bar here at my house. You can watch it on the replay. So, if my parents eliminated certain foods, they would feel a difference as well. But it doesn't make them sick enough to the point where they would eliminate it. To me, it makes me feel really, really sick. And so I just eliminate it completely because I feel better off of it. Like I said, every now and then I will, eat a brownie or eat some chocolate. I'm not supposed to drink alcohol. It makes me feel really sick. Every now and then I'll force myself to have a glass, but I wake up not feeling so great. But yeah, I would definitely recommend, an elimination diet. I've told a lot of people with Lyme and with other issues just to eliminate everything and then start adding it in one by one, and you will identify your triggers. Dairy is horrible for me. Hi, Ross. I eliminated dairy years ago because it's just horrible. I mean, constipation, cystic acne. Dairy is bad for probably anyone. A friend of mine who's actually on the lung transplant list, his wife and him are vegan. And she said ever since they became vegan, he's had less upper respiratory infections. He's been getting sick a lot less colds and stuff like that. So for some people, it really does help. They're not strict with it, but it does help them. Hi, Dougie. So that's just kind of a summary of my food sensitivities. I mean, it's such a huge, huge topic. I feel like I should almost split it into different scopes. But, it's really, it's just so broad that it's hard to describe it almost. I have people constantly recommending, oh, have you tried this supplement? Have you tried that supplement? Have you tried this herbal thing? You should treat your Lyme, with herbs and things like that. And it's like, I can't have herbs. Herbs are plants. Plants are high in oxalates. I cannot have any of that. That's what makes me such a difficult patient to treat also, because I am intolerant even to drugs. As I was taking my antibiotics, I became intolerant to each antibiotic the longer I was on it. So by the time my treatment finished, I was really, really sick, and I was like 80 pounds. I mean, it was really bad. Even weed, yes. I've tried marijuana, and I had really severe panic. I didn't react to it well. But that's just the nature of my genetic issues. And that's what makes me such a difficult patient to treat. So that's me in a nutshell. I would get munchies, but see, that's the other thing too, that when you smoke marijuana, you don't get cravings for a salad. That was the one thing that I discovered. It did help me in the beginning when I started smoking it. It helped me a little bit. And I would get cravings, but you don't get cravings for a salad. You get cravings for junk. You want to eat chips. You want to eat, brownies, sweets. And I can't have any of that. It's just going to make me sicker. So it's almost counterintuitive. So, that's kind of, it's like a catch-22. It's going to make me hungry, but it's not going to make me want to eat, a salad with grilled chicken on it. Yes, it's going to make me want to have ice cream, which I can't have. Ice cream is dairy. It has sugar. Sometimes it has soy in it. I mean, it has a bunch of stuff in it. So, that's sort of the catch-22, So it's almost pointless. I do have a prescription for marijuana, but I just don't use it, really. But okay, you guys, I gotta get going. It's like 10:30 over here. If you guys have any questions, I'm gonna try to do a Q&A. This is probably gonna be the last week, since I'm only doing this through May. This is gonna be the last full week, so I might try to do some Q&A sessions, because I know people have lots of questions. So I'll try to fit that in. I'll see what this week is looking like. And I'll see what topics I really want to do. Like I said, there's, I used to scope like once every 2 weeks. It does affect animals, yes. It affects animals. I used to scope maybe like once every 2 weeks. Maybe I'll try to scope like once a week or something like that. But like I said, I don't really know. I don't really know what to scope about when I'm not scoping about Lyme disease. I usually just sit there and talk about myself, which is kind of weird. But I'll do more, especially if you guys want me to do more scopes. I will try to do more. because there are people that have asked me, they're like, you should scope more, you know, you should do this more. And it's like, you know, yeah, but it's like, what do I talk about? So, yeah, after May, more Lyme, yeah. I have that. Do you mean to say protection? You have that protection? So I'll try to do that, and I'll try to scope, you know, because I'm doing the blog. Hi, Shadow Sleeper. Because I'm doing the blog now, I'll probably try to scope from different locations. So I want to try to do that. You know, that way it's sort of, hi, how are you? So I want to try to do that to also sort of be, the weed prescription. Okay. I know a lot of people ask me, like, can I have your prescription? So I never use it. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know when it expires. It probably expires later this year. Hi, G-Money. So I will try to do scopes during the summer. I'll try to do them from the places that I go to eat at or that I blog about. That way you can see that there are options for those of us that are sick. The Snoop Dogg prescription? No. It's my medical marijuana prescription. I never use it because I don't like it. So, but anyways, you guys, I will see you guys again tomorrow. Catch my replays. I don't know if my replay from yesterday is still up because I think I did it pretty early. Thank you. So catch my replays. Check out my blog. Check out my YouTube channel as well. I think there's a link to it in my bio, and it has all of my replays from Scope. Thank you for the hearts. Visit my YouCaring page, youcaring.com/Marisol has Lyme. It has more information about my Lyme disease, and I'm accepting donations through the end of May. I lowered my my goal amount because I don't think I'm going to need as much as I did before. So I lowered my goal amount. Share it with everybody. I've gotten like one donation this month, so that's good. But I'm hoping to at least get halfway to my goal so that I can start paying down this medical stuff because it's just horrendous. I wanted to do a scope about debt as well because it's such a huge thing with people that have Lyme disease, but I have so many topics. It's funny, I started the month with like 0 topics, and now I'm at the end of the month and it's like, oh my god, I have this other topic and this other topic, and what do I do? So so I might have to wait until next year, until next Lyme Awareness Month. But I mean, you could talk for days about Lyme disease. I mean, it's just so crazy. So, all right, Jeff, take care. I know, there's so many, I mean, you could do endless scopes about Lyme disease. There's just so much about it. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for being here with me. Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. I kind of feel like my scopes are boring, kind of. Like, I don't know, like, today I wasn't really prepared, and I've had a couple of scopes that were kind of sleepy. But yeah, keep joining me. If you guys want to keep this going, then, you know, keep joining me. Let me know. Let me know if there's a specific topic you guys want to know about. And maybe I'll address that in the future. You know, maybe we'll just keep this going. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow.